catfights, heartbreak, and a shocking betrayal. Here's what Real Housewives star Shannon Beador said about the woman who is dating her ex. When Shannon Beador learned her ex, John Janssen, had a new hookup, she was hit with a triple whammy heartbreak. Not only was Janssen moving on from her, but he was doing so with her former The Real Housewives of Orange County castmate, Alexis Bellino, the same Alexis who's the ex-wife of Shannon's legal nemesis, Jim Bellino. Ouch. So it's little wonder Shannon has more than a few questions regarding the hot new romance. There were plenty of red flags that Shannon and Janssen were doomed from the start. For starters, Shannon was fresh out of her messy divorce from David Beador when they started dating. Then, there's the fact that the couple was dating for 3 years but didn't spend nights together, go on any couples trips, or discuss long-term future plans. Tamra Judge had plenty to say about that, not surprisingly.
Shannon and John not talking about getting married is a huge red flag. They've been together 3 years, and no talk of marriage at their age?
Still, Shannon totally didn't see the breakup coming. She told People, "All I can do is repeat in my head what he said to me while we were filming. We were in a great place, but 7 days later, when the cameras were down, it was a completely different story."
What happened during this season and then what happened 1 week later was devastating to me.
Given the situation, it's only natural that Shannon is struggling to come to terms with Janssen's new romance. Beador and Janssen's relationship regularly came under scrutiny amongst her Real Housewives castmates. Still, Shannon remained a staunch defender of their romance until the bitter end, so she was blindsided by his sudden and unexpected decision to call it quits. And when Shannon discovered Janssen had moved on to Bellino, she was reeling. She told E! News on December 6th, "I'm not going to lie, I've been hurt."
Were you ever able to make sense of what happened?
No.
Shannon said she was confused by his decision to date Alexis, as he'd always insisted he wanted to stay out of the media glare. Let's face it, hooking up with another Real Housewife isn't exactly going to guarantee anonymity. Shannon told E! News he's thrust himself more into the public eye at this point. Adding insult to injury is the fact that Janssen was aware of Shannon's legal struggles with Jim Bellino, a battle in which Alexis was very much involved. She told E! News, "I was financially and emotionally devastated for years, and I won, but it devastated me financially, and I'm a single mom. John's aware of that." People magazine broke the news of Alexis and Janssen's fledgling romance. In a touch of dramatic irony, their first date was at the Orange County eatery, The Quiet Woman. The restaurant was the scene of Beador's infamous plate-throwing debacle, in addition to being the place where she met her future ex-husband, David Beador.
Keep eating. This isn't my plate!
Shannon Beador isn't the only former Real Housewives star with something to say about Bellino and Janssen's new romance. Vicki Gunvalson also has her opinions. She commented on an Instagram pic of the two, ridiculous and thirsty on both of them. Gunvalson continued her tirade in a brief comment to Celeb Buzz, saying, "What Alexis is doing is downright gross. You know how bad this would hurt her, and you did it anyways. What happened to being religious and righteous?" The shade set off a war of words between her and Bellino. Bellino posted a copy of Gunvalson's article on Instagram, writing, "Very disappointing to see this from someone I considered a friend." She clapped back with an accusation that Gunvalson was desperate for clickbait, as her insurance business was floundering. Bellino signed off with a flourish of passive-aggressiveness, writing, quote, "Happy holidays." Gunvalson wasted no time launching a counterattack. She claimed on X, formerly known as Twitter, that her business was thriving and that she was merely sharing her thoughts, not seeking attention. She wrote in her post, "At least I have a business and don't have to depend on a man."